Third Rock from the Sun was not just a comedy, it was the most gloriously unhinged show television ever produced. 4 aliens, human bodies, zero clue what they were doing. It premiered in 1996 and nothing has matched it since. But 30 years have passed. Who from this legendary cast became a massive star? Who walked away from everything at the height of their fame? And who did we lose forever? We are about to find out. Subscribe first, then let us get into it.
Number 1. John Lithgow as Dick Solomon. Here is something worth thinking about. When Third Rock from the Sun first aired, John Lithgow was already 50 years old. He had Oscar nominations, he had Broadway credits, he had a reputation as one of the most serious dramatic actors of his generation. And then he walked onto a television set, put on a suit, and started acting like a man who had never seen a staircase before. Nobody saw that coming. John played Dick Solomon, the high commander of a small alien research team sent to Earth to study human beings. Dick gets assigned a male human body and absolutely cannot handle it. The emotions hit him like a truck. The ego confuses him. The hunger, the jealousy, the longing, all of it lands on Dick Solomon like he is being attacked from the inside. And John Lithgow played every single one of those moments with a physical intensity that was almost impossible to look away from. What made Dick work was not just the comedy, it was the sincerity underneath it. Dick falls genuinely, deeply in love with Dr. Mary Albright. He panics about death. He wants to be respected and keeps failing at it in the most spectacular ways. There was real heart buried under all that chaos. The awards reflected it immediately. John won the Emmy for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Comedy Series 3 years in a row, 1996, 1997, 1998. He also took home the Golden Globe 3 consecutive times for the same role, 3 years in a row for the same character. That almost never happens in television history. And then the show ended, and instead of slowing down, John Lithgow somehow accelerated. In 2008, he played Arthur Mitchell, the Trinity Killer on Dexter. Cold, terrifying, and completely believable. He won another Emmy for it. Then came The Crown in 2016, where he portrayed Winston Churchill with a weight and complexity that earned him yet another round of critical praise. Add Interstellar, Bombshell, and multiple Broadway productions to that list. The man simply does not stop. Today, John Lithgow is 80 years old. His net worth is estimated at around $45 million. He's been married to Mary Jo Yeager since 1981, and he's still working, still showing up, still one of the best to ever do it. 50 years old when it started, and the role of a lifetime was still ahead of him.
Number 2. Jane Curtin as Dr. Mary Albright. Not every great performance announces itself loudly. Some performances work by being the calm in the middle of a storm. And that is exactly what Jane Curtin did for 6 seasons on Third Rock from the Sun. Jane was 48 years old when she stepped into the role of Dr. Mary Albright, an anthropology professor at Pendleton State University. Mary is sharp, accomplished, and completely rational. She has built a sensible life for herself. And then Dick Solomon walks into it, and nothing makes sense anymore. Here is what made Mary such a brilliant character. She is not naive. She is not foolish. She is genuinely intelligent. But Dick is so relentlessly overwhelming that Mary spends most of the series questioning her own judgment. Is this man a genius? Is he completely unhinged? Why does she keep choosing him? Jane played that internal confusion with such dry, perfectly timed comedy that she became the anchor the entire show needed. Without Mary, Dick has nobody to bounce off of. Without Jane Curtin, the whole thing falls apart. And Jane was no stranger to this kind of pressure. Before Third Rock, she had already earned her place in television history as one of the original cast members of Saturday Night Live, where she co-anchored Weekend Update from 1975 to 1980. She also starred alongside Dan Aykroyd in The Coneheads, and yes, that is also a story about aliens living among humans. Somehow she kept finding herself in alien stories. Her work on Third Rock earned her 2 Emmy Awards in 1999 and 2000. The chemistry between her and John Lithgow was warm and funny and sometimes genuinely touching in a way that surprised people who expected pure slapstick. After the series wrapped, Jane kept working steadily. She appeared in I Love You Man, had a recurring role in the crime drama Unforgettable, did voice work on The Loud House, and continued doing theater throughout the years. Today, Jane Curtin is 78 years old, 5 decades in this industry. 2 landmark contributions to television comedy, first with Saturday Night Live, then with Third Rock. Both still hold up, both still matter.
Number 3. French Stewart as Harry Solomon. Some actors play a character, and some actors become one. French Stewart became Harry Solomon in a way that is genuinely difficult to explain. He was 30 years old when the show started, and he was handed what looked like a simple premise. Harry is the alien who did not get a proper assignment. When the rest of the crew took on human bodies and human roles, somebody had to stay behind and operate the transmitter that communicated with their home planet. That somebody was Harry. So Harry literally became the radio. Signals blast through his skull without warning, his eyes go blank, his whole body becomes a receiver for alien transmissions, and when it is over, Harry has absolutely no idea what just happened. He wanders back into the conversation as if nothing occurred. But here's what French Stewart understood that made Harry so special. Harry is not stupid. Harry is just completely untethered from human reality. He discovers a sandwich and reacts like he has witnessed a miracle. He stumbles into social situations with zero anxiety because he has no framework for what he is supposed to be afraid of. He is joyful in the most alien way possible. And then there were the eyes. That perpetual squint that French Stewart maintained throughout the entire series, that was not makeup. That was not a direction from the writers. That was a personal choice French Stewart made before filming the pilot, and he never broke it, not once. 6 full seasons, 6 years of squinting every single day on set. That is commitment. French earned 2 Emmy nominations for the role. Honestly, he deserved more recognition than he received. Harry brought a texture to Third Rock that nobody else could have provided. Something slow and surreal and oddly peaceful in the middle of all the chaos. After the show ended, French Stewart kept working consistently. He showed up in CSI, in Mom, in Drunk History, in stage productions and voice roles. In 2006, he married actress Vanessa Branch, and the two have largely kept a quiet life away from the spotlight. Today, French Stewart is 62 years old. He may not have the headlines that some of his castmates do, but he built something with Harry Solomon that television has never really seen again.
Number 4. Kristen Johnston as Sally Solomon. Sometimes a performer walks into a role and you can just tell from the very first scene that this person was built for this exact character. Kristen Johnston was 28 years old when she took on Sally Solomon, and what she was handed was genuinely one of the most interesting characters in the entire series. Sally is the alien crew member who got assigned a female human body, and she was not happy about it, not even a little bit. Before this assignment, Sally was the team's weapons and security expert. She is physically powerful, intensely competitive, and trained for combat. And now she is supposed to wear dresses and smile at strangers and navigate something called dating. The comedy writes itself. But Kristen Johnston did something far more interesting than just playing it for laughs. She played the confusion as real. Sally does not understand femininity because it was genuinely forced on her. She tries on womanhood like an ill-fitting uniform. She goes on dates with the intensity of someone approaching a military operation. She gets her heart broken and responds with the kind of rage that makes complete sense if you understand that she has no framework for heartbreak, no conditioning, no social programming telling her to bottle it up. Kristen won 2 Emmy Awards for this role, Outstanding Supporting Actress in 1996 and again in 1999. Her first win genuinely shocked the industry because she was so new, but anyone who'd been watching the show already knew she was delivering something special. And then the show ended, and things got very hard. Kristen has spoken publicly and with remarkable honesty about what followed. The years after Third Rock brought a serious struggle with addiction to drugs and alcohol. In 2004, she nearly died from a perforated stomach ulcer. She has been open about how her substance use contributed to that moment. But here is where Kristen Johnston's story becomes truly worth telling. She did not hide from it. In 2012, she wrote a memoir called Guts.
Brutally honest, surprisingly funny, and deeply moving, it made the New York Times bestseller list. She also founded SLAMNY, a nonprofit organization focused on providing mental health and substance abuse support to low-income New Yorkers. She turned her hardest chapter into something that helps other people survive theirs. Today, Kristen Johnston is 58 years old. She is still acting, still advocating, still one of the most unfiltered and genuinely human voices that Hollywood has produced in a very long time.
Number 5. Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Tommy Solomon, 15 years old. That is how old Joseph Gordon-Levitt was when he first appeared on Third Rock from the Sun. 15, and he was already holding his own against John Lithgow, one of the most technically gifted actors in the business. Let that sit for a moment. Tommy Solomon is built on a brilliant contradiction. He is the oldest and most experienced member of the alien crew, ancient by their planet's standards, wise, intellectual, and used to being taken seriously. But the body he gets assigned is a human teenager. So this ancient, highly intelligent being now has to sit through high school classes, deal with acne, navigate crushes, and get talked down to by adults who assume he knows nothing. The frustration alone was comedy gold. But Joe played it with a sharpness that went beyond just reacting to absurd situations. His timing was precise. His instincts were mature in a way that made no sense for someone his age. For 6 seasons, he delivered. And then the show ended in 2001. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt did something that almost no child actor has ever had the clarity or the courage to do. He walked away. Not because things were going badly, but because he wanted to figure out who he was outside of a television set. He enrolled at Columbia University. He studied French literature and poetry. He took time that the entertainment industry would have happily stolen from him, and he kept it for himself. When he came back, everything was different. In 2005, he starred in Brick, a dark, sharp, neo-noir film where he played a teenage detective navigating a criminal underworld built entirely inside a high school. The performance was stunning. Nothing about it looked like the kid from Third Rock. It looked like a fully formed artist who had taken the time to develop into something real. He founded Hit Record after that, a global creative platform that allows artists from around the world to collaborate on films, music, and other projects. It won an Emmy. It was not a side project, it was a genuine mission. Joe married Tasha McCauley in a private ceremony in 2014. They have 2 children together. He has been extremely deliberate about keeping his family away from public attention. And honestly, that discipline tells you everything about who he became after Third Rock. Today, Joseph Gordon-Levitt is 44 years old. Thoughtful, versatile, and respected, in a way that very few people who started as child actors ever managed to achieve. He did not survive Hollywood. He outgrew it on his own terms. Number 6. Wayne Knight as Officer Don Orville. Okay, we have to talk about Wayne Knight, because no conversation about Third Rock from the Sun is complete without spending some time on Officer Don Orville. Wayne was 39 years old when the show began, and he played Don with a specific kind of cheerful, completely oblivious sincerity that is very hard to pull off without becoming annoying. Don is a local police officer. He is proud of his work. He considers himself resourceful and capable and sharp. He is also completely, spectacularly clueless. Don dates Sally Solomon for years, and he never once suspects that the woman he is falling for could probably throw his patrol car into the next county without breaking a sweat. Sally looks at him with the mild curiosity of a scientist observing a harmless insect. Don looks at Sally like she is the most beautiful thing he has ever seen. It should not work as well as it does, but Wayne Knight made Don genuinely lovable. You root for the guy even while you are laughing at him. That is a very specific skill. And here is something that does not get mentioned enough. While Wayne was playing Don Orville on Third Rock, he was also playing Newman on Seinfeld at the same time, both shows running simultaneously.
Newman, Jerry Seinfeld's scheming, self-satisfied neighbor and recurring nemesis, is one of the most iconic supporting characters in sitcom history. 2 classic comedy roles, 2 legendary shows running at the same time. That is a television achievement that rarely gets the recognition it deserves. After both shows ended, Wayne Knight moved steadily into voice acting and guest appearances. He voiced Snot on American Dad. He showed up in dozens of films and television projects over the years and stayed consistently busy. There is one more thing worth mentioning. In 2017, a false rumor began spreading across social media that Wayne Knight had died. It moved fast, it reached a lot of people, and Wayne himself had to step forward and confirm that he was very much alive, healthy, and fine. He handled it with humor, which honestly tracks perfectly for someone who spent years making people laugh for a living. Today, Wayne Knight is 68 years old, still working, still beloved, and yes, still very much here.
Number 7. Elmarie Wendell as Mrs. Dubček. There are characters in a television series that are not the leads. They are not the ones on the poster. They do not drive the main storyline. But somehow, every single time they appear on screen, the whole room gets a little warmer. Elmarie Wendell was that for Third Rock from the Sun. She played Mrs. Dubček, the landlady of the Solomon family, a woman of a certain age with a very particular set of interests, most of which involved the male members of the household in ways that were never quite appropriate and always absolutely hilarious. Mrs. Dubček had no idea she was living beneath a group of extraterrestrial beings. She was just happy to have interesting tenants. And Elmarie played her with such effortless, lived-in comedy that it felt less like acting and more like she had simply always been that woman. There was a warmth to Mrs. Dubček that snuck up on you. Underneath the outrageous flirting and the perfectly timed one-liners, there was a real human being, and that was entirely Elmarie's doing. She came to the role with decades of experience behind her, a long career in theater and television that had sharpened her instincts in ways that cannot be taught in a classroom. You could feel that experience in every scene she was in. The confidence, the ease, the complete lack of effort that only comes from a lifetime of real work. Third Rock fans loved Mrs. Dubček deeply, not just for the laughs, but for what she represented in the fabric of the show. A constant, a neighbor, someone who was always just there, making the world of the Solomon family feel grounded and real even when everything else was completely out of control. Elmarie Wendell passed away on November 27, 2018. She was 88 years old. The loss was felt quietly but sincerely across everyone who loved the show. There were no replacements possible, no recasting, no character that could fill that specific space she occupied on screen. There was only ever one Mrs. Dubček. Rest in peace, Elmarie. You made people laugh, and that is not a small thing. That is everything. 30 years, and the cast of Third Rock from the Sun still has something to say about all of us. John Lithgow still going strong at 80. Jane Curtin, a comedy legend who never slowed down. French Stewart, unforgettable. Kristen Johnston, brave and still fighting. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who chose himself over fame. Wayne Knight, 2 iconic roles at once. And Elmarie Wendell, gone but never replaced. Thanks for watching. Subscribe so you never miss the next one. See you there.